Okay, so maybe you have this where things are constantly entering your mind that you don't want to have there. You're just going through your day and toxic concepts pop into your head that make you worry about what's going to happen, or degrade something that's important to you, or stoke some fear, or continue some discouraging or antisocial narrative, or anything that's trying to get you into a mental conversation that somehow detracts from your well-being. You probably know what I'm talking about. Let's start with what usually doesn't work: engaging with those thoughts. If I try to argue in my mind as to why they're not true, or try to explore them more, or figure out some kind of solution to the problem they present, anything where I say in some way or another, yeah, I'm open to this discussion, I lose. I never feel better afterwards. Either I'm more worried about the thing now, or I'm exhausted or drained or worried about something new or whatever. And it doesn't really lead me to any constructive life changes, it just makes me feel bad about different things throughout the day. And the problem doesn't stop. It comes back again and again, and if I try to make a point, it will just make a better one, and it can rile up my emotions and get me not thinking clearly, and it doesn't fight fair. It's a lose-lose. More thinking leads to more thinking. None of my reasoning or conversation skills works. I've only really found one thing that works consistently. The tool is this: have a handful of prepackaged responses that you apply to all negative thoughts that come in. For example, say I suddenly get the thought, what if people don't like this YouTube video that I'm working on? And they say nasty things in the comments, or nobody watches it, or nobody gets anything good out of it. Instead of me trying to say back to myself, people seem to like the other ones, so they'll like this one, or I'll just make a different kind of video next time. Or look, here's something that proves that all the videos I did before are good. All I say out loud in my mind is, care for the morrow. That's a paraphrase of Jesus Christ from Swedenborg's commentary on the meaning of the Consider the Lilies speech. Leaving out the intervening details of why, what that has come to mean to me, even in its old school language, is that concerns about my future, my reputation, status, and what I'll get or not get are an impediment to the spirit, and that God is going to arrange things as is best for everyone. I use that one for me, because it means something to me, but maybe that doesn't mean something to you. Maybe you have an aversion to it. Pick phrases that mean something to you. They can be from a lot of different sources. I have one that I use that was something that I was told my grandfather said shortly before he died. Pick ones that work for you, but have it be an antidote to the kind of negative thought that you're prone to. Just like care for the morrow is an antidote to worry about reputation and future. And make sure that yours are something that you believe, at least in your more optimistic states of mind. Something that you would consider a deeper truth or principle about life. So back to mine, care for the morrow is a broad label that I can put on thoughts. Whether I get incoming worries about the future of my relationships or my career or my finances, or worries that specific bad things are going to happen to me, when any of those come at me, instead of engaging with them and getting entangled and dragged down, I can just say, care for the morrow. And don't even give the problem that they're presenting the time of day. It's like I'm a bouncer at a club in my mind, and I say, I don't care who you are, you can't come in here wearing care for the morrow. I found that repeating it like a mantra whenever those kind of thoughts come up spares me from a lot of mental conversations that would have been painful and drawn me further into negative narratives about life and about my life in particular. But care for the morrow doesn't cover everything. I could get some kind of mental attack on my value as a person, or I get some worry about another person or thing that I believe is some kind of emotional or psychological threat to me. There are other categories of negative thought, so find other meaningful, comforting mantras to address those. You could just have like 5 or 6 total. It's better than just having one, because I find it's more effective to address the category of worry in particular, and having multiple ones keeps them from getting stagnant or feeling overused. Using those phrases and being faithful to them is a way to avoid entanglement and reinforcement, and also brings in the wisdom from our better states of mind into our troubled states of mind when we're under attack. Repeating that phrase lets me remember that principle and realize that this thought is in violation and I don't need it. Because we don't always keep the best wisdom we've learned on the tip of our brains, so this is good shorthand to keep that best wisdom accessible. So first of all, this doesn't really stop negative thoughts from coming. I don't know any technique to do that, but this is really about avoiding the prolonged mental conversations that stem from those thoughts, which is where I think a lot of the real damage is done. Also, some people will say, but we need to listen to worries and stuff because they alert us to problems. And that's sort of what negative thoughts themselves say too. They're kind of masquerading as helpful to us, so we don't totally reject them. The way I see it is this. Some vitamin D is good for you, but too much of it is toxic. A lot of people are walking around debilitated by worry or fear or self-loathing. It has a huge negative overall impact on your life. If you think you need to do some constructive decision making about your life, pick 20 minutes at some point in the day and do all of your decision making and worrying and figuring things out then. And the rest of the day, shut those negative thoughts out with this tool. You decide the worry schedule. Your thoughts don't. Okay, so I realize this technique might be a bit complex, but it's been really helpful for me. So I wanted to try to pass it along. If there's something you want me to explain a little more, just send me a comment or a message or something like that, and I'll try to clear it up. Cool. Thanks for watching.